So you beautiful people, in today's episode of the Gunsmith, we're going to start off with the M13 once again. This is just like the M4 in the terms of it's a very versatile weapon. Now we're going to make the Sauer MCX Rattler, which is a short barreled rifle. Comes in a configuration of a 5.5 inch barrel and can use the 5.56 by 45mm rounds or go for them ever deadly subsonic 300 blackout rounds. So let's start building this weapon. Now the first thing you're going to need to do is what I've said quite obviously, is shorten the barrel to the 5.5 inch. Now this is a weapon that, as you've seen in the picture, a lot of people don't tend to put any type of grip on, so we're going to stick true to form and we're not going to put a grip on this particular weapon. And we've done the 300 blackout rounds a few times now, so we're going to stick with the traditional 5.56 by 45mm rounds. Now I have used the skeleton stock, which technically makes this the smallest rifle in the world, but we're not going to do that because I've done it twice now. So we are going to go for the close quarter stock for faster aim down sight speed. As you can see, the others would give you faster movement speed and aim stability, but this is what we're going to go for with this particular build. Very tiny little weapon, but because it is so small, it's going to be light, it's going to be compact, it should be very easy to handle. Now that's me going off real life logic. In terms of the setup we're going for, this is going to be more of a runner gunner rushers type of weapon. So we're going to pop on the stippled grip, so you get that faster aim down sight speed and also the sprint to fire speed as well, to make this a truly brutal rushers weapon. In terms of the ammunition, as I've said, I'm not going to touch that, but because this does have a 900 RPM fire rate, we are definitely going to be putting sleight of hand on this particular weapon here. Now you can go for a laser if you want to. I'm going to refrain from putting a laser on this weapon because I believe it gives away your position in the game too often. Enemies can already hear you, so you don't want them to be seeing your laser before you get to where you are anyway, because it's quite difficult to have a fair gunfight in this game if you are rushing. So on that basis, we're going to go for an optic, and we're going to go for something not too intrusive. So I'm going to try this one out. I quite like that one there. Oh, that Viper's quite nice also. So we'll go for the Viper reflex sight on it. And that is going to be our... I'm not quite sure if I like that sight actually. So should we go for... Yeah, we're going to go for the operator reflex. And that is going to be your MCX Rattler short barreled rifle configuration. And that is already going to be a very tasty weapon. So let's take a look at it just from all the angles, and you can see it is a very little thing, tiny, technically the smallest rifle in the world. You can get this in a pistol form as well, but this is actually a rifle. So that is your MCX Sauer Rattler. So let's put our little SIG to the test. And the first thing you'll find is, mobility wise, you move very quickly. As I've told you before, absolutely insane fire rate on this weapon. It will very quickly put people down. You can see we're aiming down sight very quickly also. And we've got someone sat in the corner. Oh, we've got a corner camper here. Managed to get them really quickly, even though there was already shooting at us. Didn't see this guy with a shotgun, my apologies. So let's test out the recoil quickly before they come and eliminate me. And you can see that severely veers off to the right hand side. So if you did want to equip the grip, then you'd be more than welcome. However, I think I've not had no issues there trying to shoot people at all. So if I was going to suggest a class to you guys, this is what it would look like. The obvious build that we've just put together for the SIG MCX Rattler. I should have told you about this with the MP5. This was the snub nose, aka the executioner, that I built in my last video. It's just a classic. It works really well. You can get one-shot headshots. So if you don't want to run overkill, this would be a good option for those of you who are looking for a close range power weapon. However, just like with the MP510 and the MCX, these are going to be quite lethal up close and personal anyway. In terms of the perks, we go for E or D because we want to rush a bit more with this, so we're going to need to take less damage when we're bursting into doors and there's going to be claymores, because one thing you can be sure about in life is death, and one thing you can be sure about in Modern Warfare is claymores at doors. Going for the more stealthy approach in terms of the radar, so we're going to stick with Ghost on this particular one, and then we're going to use Battle Harden, so there is a reduction of the strength of flashes, stuns and EMP effects. For our lethal, Proxy Mine, just a bit of a change from a Claymore. Chuck this down, leave it there and hope that it gets you a kill, which will be obviously added to the addition of your kill streaks. And then if you're not quite sure about what rooms you are going to fly into, you can throw this in, which is a snapshot grenade. It will highlight where the players are if there are any corner campers, and you can promptly rush in with your Rattler and spray them down and eliminate them really quickly. Very effective this is, so that is going to be my suggestion if you do rock the Sig Sauer MCX Rattler. Now for this build, you probably saw the thumbnail and it's probably what attracted you to this video. This is going to be a build of the MP510. Now the MP510 is a 10mm variant of the MP5 9mm. It's a weapon that was requested from a lot of people, US law enforcement. There are several replica versions that you can get from remilled 9mm weapons. I think it's Cohair that do a version of this, but there's been some issues in terms of the magazine actually letting the rounds shoot throughout that weapon, so you've got to do some modifications. But the H&K version is what we're going to build, and you may start to think that this gun is going to resemble something. Now tell me down in the comment section what you think it resembles. Pause the video right now and then I will tell you in a moment what it resembles and why. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the barrel, and we're going to go for the FFS light. Now you can keep this barrel like this and then put the on the barrel, and you can start to see where it's going in terms of the looks of the weapon, but I'm definitely going to put the FFS light on for that faster aim down sight speed. The stock is going to be the bit that starts to get a few of you excited, because it got me excited and I just think it's ever classic. This is similar to, very similar to what the law enforcement in the UK use. MP5 is a very versatile weapon. You can have so many different variants, different attachments on it, and our police force absolutely love the MP5. So this is going to be the 10 version. Now the stock, pop that on the classic straight line, and to take this into an MP510 we need to put 10mm rounds on. So there's the straight mag, and that's starting to look much more like a 10mm MP510. Now I'm going to put the stippled grip on this because that's going to give you some insane aim down sight speeds, because we still want to be competitive, although we're going for a more realistic gun here. And then we're gonna go for the on the barrel, and I'm going to put on the Merc because it gives you the hip fire accuracy. This gun is already a god off the hip, but now forget it. Anyone that comes up against you and your shots land, they're pretty much going down. And that is going to be our MP510 build. Now you can see I've chose not to put no optic on. You don't need it. You really don't need it. It's only going to penalize you in the long run, and the iron sights on this gun are immaculate. You will see everything coming, and that is what you saw on the actual thumbnail. Now those of you who wonder why this looks quite similar to a UMP45, well, the UMP40 is what took over from this gun, and the UMP45, there's not many versions of this 10mm actually around, because it was promptly replaced by a 40mm version of the weapon, and then the UMP became the new MP5. Basically, it's a much more reliable, cheaper, lighter version of the weapon, but we haven't got it in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, I am praying with every fiber in my body that the UMP45 does land in this game, because it's an absolute fan favorite of mine. The old days of Marathon Pro, Lightweight Pro, run around like a headless chicken, clearly not happening at present in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So the first thing you'll notice with this little beauty of a weapon is the recoil pattern. It's ultra controllable with these attachments on. I absolutely love the weapon. In terms of killing power, you can see the range on this. The MP5's got a decent range anyway, but from where I'm standing, we've run out of ammo here. Now, if I was going to suggest a loadout for this particular weapon, it definitely would be looking like this here. I'd be using the MP5 as I've set it up in this particular video. I'll be using Scavenger because of the amount of ammo that you'll deplete quite quickly. I'd be also using Hardline, just because this is purely based on killing people pretty quickly, and I'm sure you'll manage to at least obtain your UAV and if you have the missiles on. But I always seem to tend to manage to obtain my VTOL warship with this particular weapon with no real trouble. And then because I'm gonna rush, not hard, but I'm going to be more tactical. I'm going to move a lot more than I would if I had an AR. I want battle hardened on. In terms of my lethal, a Semtex just to throw in those rooms where I believe somebody may be lurking, and in a tactical stun grenade if I believe I'm going to come across a claymore. And for your field upgrade, just to make sure that you're getting even more ammo, the munitions box. Or it'd be nice if your teammates do sprinkle these around for you also. So guys, it's that time in the video where you need to tell me down in the comment section which of these builds was your favorite. Me personally, definitely leaning towards this beauty here, the MP510. It's a very special weapon, and it's the predecessor to one of my favorites, which is the UMP45 and the UMP40, for those of you who didn't know that existed. Hope you enjoyed the incorporation of the class setups as well. Just trying to improve and move forward with the content creation on the channel in terms of Modern Warfare. Guys, there are many buttons you can hit, but a like and subscribe button, I hope they took your fancy. And as always guys, don't forget to stay on the right track. Peace.